Hi Tarot Tribe, it's Ethany, and today I am reviewing the Destiny is Brewing, Lenormand Oracle and book. And I have got some things to talk to you about this beautiful book. I have done a unboxing video and flip through of the deck in this channel before, but this is my review now that I have worked with it. This I'd say the only thing about this deck that is a negative is that I cannot get this box open most of the time. I'm such a weakling, or I just haven't figured out, like, is it like you have to knock it or something secretly? I don't know. It's just, I can't even. And this deck also makes me want to drink lots of tea. It's never a bad thing. Okay, so this is being created by Kerry Gummershall and Heather Stratton. So Heather is the artist and Kerry is the author. This deck makes me so homesick, I can't even. It really does, because of all the Australian stuff in it. So for example, the rider, this is a very Aussie card. You have the man in a dry as a bone, who is a courier, what were they called? I'll just look it up. Gosh, there was that movie and Hugh Jackman was one, and I'm pulling a blank. Yeah, it was in Australia, it was the old Cobb & Co. that doubled as the stagecoach for the transportation of people and delivering parcels on the post. Okay, so it wasn't what he was in that movie. Yeah, okay, so dry as a bone, a Karura hat, Australian windmill, and kangaroo paw. All of those things are very Australian, and they make me very, very, very homesick. There's a lot of that in this deck, which is good. It's not such a bad thing. So I'm going to actually jump to the book first, because I've singled out a couple of cards that I want to show you that it shows you just how thoughtful this deck and book is. This book is so well researched and very well written, and it's also in color. It's such an investment. It's such a worthy investment. I love being able to see these cards blown up and in all their beautiful glory. Okay, so we're going to jump into the book, which is 210 pages long, and I had a beautiful inscription on my copy. So thank you very much. So in this, I've shown this a little bit in the unboxing video. So you have a quick guide at the front. Okay, so the foreword has a really cool little piece of information here. Although the original miniature card inserts on the Lenormand cards were designed for the playing of other popular card games at the time, Heather, who's the artist, took the liberty of embellishing the court card people in our set of cards. We agreed that we should pay homage to the people who had major influence in the history of the cards. Consequently, on closer inspection, you'll find that all the kings, there's a king, bear the face of Johann Hechtel, the creator of the Game of Hope, while all of the queens are characterized by Mademoiselle Lenormand. And what we call the jacks are epitomized by Filippino Visconti, one of the earliest instigators to create a fifth suit for the playing cards, a forerunner of the tarot, and Atelier, the father of divination for the tarot cards. So how cool is that? It's a very, very cool piece of something that's been imbued into the card. So I really loved that. I thought that's really, really rad. And then after the introduction, there's this beautiful story, and I'm not going to read it. I mean, I had to email Kerry and tell her how much I loved this story, called The Fortune Teller. And it's just so great. It's a short story. And then she jumps into the cards, the meanings, and you have a whole page for the card and then a whole page for the meaning of the card. And what I love about that is because she's given here any specific symbols, you can see them very easily on the big on the big picture. So like I was saying, the dry as a bone, the Cabura hat, the Australian windmill, and the kangaroo paw. Some of them are very, they don't have that necessarily, but any of them that have like very Australiana kind of specific, yeah, so here the Australian carpet python. Oh my god, I wanted a carpet python. They're harmless. One of the few harmless snakes in Australia. So for example, the snake, and then what we have here is a little bit about the artwork and why they've chosen to put into the card the symbol they have, the summary of the card meaning, and then the tea leaf meaning, which is really cool. So there's a lot in this book about the connection to the symbols in Lenormand to the ancient art of reading tea leaves, which is so cool. I really love that. I mentioned in my unboxing video, I love the fact that they all have teacups, and that's another reason why there are teacups in the on each one of the pictures, except for the cuckoo clock. Oh no, even the cuckoo clock. In each one of the pictures is because these symbols spill out of or come from the tea leaf readings or have very close connections to it. The cuckoo clock is an extra card, and it's got the koala, kangaroo, kookaburra, gumtree, red waratah, pigface, banksia, golden wattle, and the southern cross. And it just really also makes me quite homesick. So there's a lot of information about each one of the cards. Excusez-moi. I can't stand cold tea, so I'm going to have to drink this while I'm doing this video. And I know you'll forgive me, because I love you and you love me. Then the next section is reading the cards, and I love some of the things that she's said in here. So for example, the Lenormand cards with their single images mean exactly what the pictures show. For example, the man card will always refer to a male person or an elected person and never interpreted as getting in touch with one's masculine or male side. It's like you almost is straight up a man. Hypothesizing, guessing, or presuming has no part in reading. Amen, sister. If the cards are difficult or unclear to interpret, then perhaps a different question needs to be put forward or presented in a slightly altered way. Caution and care should be taken when reading concerns for health or provocative questions. It will be up to each reader to gauge the information that is received by running it through their ethical filters first. Hallelujah. Conclusions for health reading should always be accompanied by the advice to the sitter to verify and check the with appropriate medical professionals. You're not a doctor. Unless you're a doctor, then that's fine. But if you're not a doctor, don't act like a fucking doctor or a nurse. The key to getting an accurate answer is to ask clear and concise questions. That is the basis of all readings. The clearer the question, the more comprehensible, unambiguous, and sharper the answer will be. As the saying goes, rubbish in, rubbish out. So she actually she's sassy and I like it. And then she has some information on subject cards, people cards, and places, which is really cool. And then a whole bunch on actually reading the different readings and doing drills, which I'm a big fan of. So like your 3 cards, your 5 cards, your 9 cards, your grand tableaus, different information, and then there's some sample readings there too, and gives you really good examples, which is super important. So there's a whole bunch dedicated to that. And then she has a section on timing, which is important for the Lenormand. And then some history on cartomancy. So I marked all these areas because I just wanted to make sure that I touched base on this when I was doing my book review. And then a whole section on reading the tea leaves. So there's a whole bunch of stuff in here, all the symbols, and there's a lot more than the 36 that are in the deck. Book is rad-tastic. You can get it from Lenormand Australia. I'll put the link to that in my review below. And I'm not sure, you can get the deck on Amazon, but I'm not sure if it's just the deck or if it's the deck and the book. But you have to get the book, I think, from the website. But it's so worth it. It's such a great book. Some books I have on the Lenormand, I mean, Rana George's is amazing. I think that's probably one of the, what's up, girl? It's an essential. But I have read some other books on Lenormand that can be very confusing. This lays it out in a really easy to read, welcoming, sassy way, again, which I love. So I highly recommend this book, like as in this will be very worn from use from my practice. Because we're always learning. Okay, so I've gone through the cards before, but I will just flick through them again while talking about my experience with reading the cards. One thing I love about the Lenormand and most Lenormand decks is they have no borders. It allows for the big picture, especially when you're doing a grand tableau or a reading of a grid, to be super clear and be like a beautiful picture of all these little puzzle pieces that you're putting together. I love the teacups. God, I love the teacups. I just love the teacups so much. This guy reminds me of Sterling Archer from Archer, if anyone watches that show. I just think the teacups just bring such a beautiful element to tying in different forms of divination. The deck is bright. It is easy to read. It is so thoughtful and well thought out. It's fast becoming one of my favorite Lenormand decks. It's just, I mean, look, even that one has a crack in it. It's just so well thought out. And the map there, the background, the ship. So if you're looking for a new deck of the Lenormand Persuasion, I can't recommend this highly enough. I just think it's just super beautiful. So easy to read with, super clear readings. It's next to my own deck in regards to accessibility for reading. You get a little card here that's the teapot. Being the universe is the teapot. The galaxy is the teapot. So just stunning. Oh yeah, and there's 2 women and 2 men cards in here, which is great. I showed that in the unboxing, so that's good to have an option. So, but I'm a little bit of a, I can be sometimes a little bit forgetful, so make sure you take out one of the man cards and one of the women cards before you start. And the back of the deck is the teapot with the Southern Cross. Because you don't read reversals in Lenormand, it doesn't matter that it's a non-reversible back. So that's my review of the Destiny's Brewing, the Lenormand Oracle by Lenormand Australia, and Kerry there and Heather. Just get it. If you liked what you've seen, if you liked what I've shown you of the book, you won't regret it. I love supporting independent artists and independent decks, and this is another one that has met and far exceeded my expectation. I saw this originally on Instagram, which is like hell for my wish list, from Chloe Tarot, and I just was like, where did you get that? And I only saw 2 images or 3 images from this deck before I went and got it, and I'm so glad I did. It's so rich and beautiful, and I can't stop looking at it. So that's my review. The full review is in regards to where to get it, the size of the deck, all that kind of jazz is over at my website. The link is below. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, especially if you liked all things divination and magic and awesome. And thank you so much for watching.